just have 2 minutes briefing from the MD of the company. What do you do, Ghana Publishing Company?
Principally, what we do at the moment is that we do extensively what we call the gazetting. And then apart from that, the LIs that are passed in Parliament are printed primarily at our source. Mr. Chairman, as you may well know, before 2008, the Ghana Publishing had the exclusive right to print ballot papers. I'm told we were exclusively the holders of the right to print some sensitive government documents, which included ballot papers. Until quite recently, the organization has not been lucky enough to have both the technical expertise and then also the equipment needed to be up to speed, looking at the modern trend in the printing industry and, of course, the publishing sector. As it stands now, the organization, I must take this opportunity to also state, is reeling under extreme poverty, where sometimes the chief accountant to my extreme right will bear me out. Payment, even for staff, sometimes becomes a problem. However, we are confident that, Mr. Chairman, there are better days ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Not
You
at
generate your
all.
own income and pay yourself.
Exactly so, Mr. Chairman. We are not on government subvention, not at all.
So, do you think that going forward, the company can be turned to be profitable under your leadership as the managing director of the company? Can you repackage this company to be more viable, to be self-sustainant, and generate your own revenue and take care of all your costs?
Mr. Chairman, principally, we know there was a law passed, I think in 2007, where the government of the day was of the opinion 20% of public printing works were to be ceded to the Ghana Publishing Company. I believe strongly we have a team of competent management in place. The sector ministry is very much interested in the well-being and the overall re-establishment of the organization. If this particular law is practically activated, I believe we shall be overwhelmed with job and the organization will be turned around into a profit-making institution.
So you mean to say that if you are not protected to have this job, you cannot compete in the market?
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much for the question. The other aspect of the matter also is that if we are lucky enough and the entire machines department sees a proper attention, then proper funds is invested to get modern, sophisticated machines and equipment, then we can go out and compete with the private sector who are already doing so well. The problem is we are unable to compete with the private sector in the printing business.
What I can see from your answer means that you need capitalization.
Mr. Chairman, absolutely so.
Okay. Honorable members, I open the floor.
Page 359. Page 359. 395. Starting with page 394. The income statement for 2012. Ghana Publishing Corporation. If you start with the expenditure aspect of the organization, operating cost for 2011, I believe so, was 2.164160. Then in 2012, it was 2,875,960. Then personnel cost, the same, 807,820, and then 1,168,000 thereabout. I just want to find out from the chief accountant especially, what accounts for this high operating costs, judging from what we just heard from the MD.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, Mr. Chairman, like my MD said, we are not self-financing in the first place. So most times, materials that are used for production, in certain cases, are purchase from some of our competitors because we don't have enough money to import our own materials. And this has gone on for quite some time now. So if there's going to be a recapitalization, as a result of which we can get our own materials, I believe it will go a long way to reduce some of the expenses that are incurred, as a result of which we are not able to make profits as expected.
So you buy at a high cost, and then that is what results into this.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, is one of the reasons.
But running down, you are talking of material cost. But if you also look at the personnel cost, your personnel cost, in 2011, it was 807, 820, and then it ballooned to 1,068,000 plus in 2012, an increase of 32%. And yet, you are, I just want to know what accounts for that. I'm very much interested in these two areas, because you are trying to convince us that because you buy the materials from the private sector, that is why the material cost is so high, and that is what results in. What about the personnel cost?
Ghana Population has a collective agreement which is reviewed every 2 years. So 2012, there was a review of this collective bargaining agreement, as a result of which, if my memory serves me right, salary was adjusted between 20 and 30. I've forgotten the exact figure anyway. So this may have also accounted for the increase in the personnel cost.
But I thought salary adjustment must conform with what gets into your kitty.
Yes, Honorable Chair, what you are saying is true. But I must add that if you happen to see the salary of Ghana Publishing Company, no matter the percentage increase, is still just a peanut. So the 30 or 20% adjustment didn't take us anywhere. It's just more. Even as we speak now, the salary is still very low, as you say.
What's your definition of salary being low?
Honorable Member, that's not your last follow-up.
Honorable, please, I didn't get the question, the last question, please.
You are telling the committee and the whole country that even as we speak, if we see your salary levels, it's not something to write home about. And I was just asking, what is the indication? I'm not asking for specifics.
Honorable Member, the levels will differ, will vary from one category or class of employees to the other.
So I'm talking of average.
So we're getting the average will not make any will provide meaningful information for our work. So,
Mr. Chairman, I must say I am one of the youngest appointees in terms of the number of days I have spent in office. The President, His Excellency, through the Information Ministry, appointed me less than 2 weeks ago. I started work on the 1st of August. The plans we have in place for the Ghana population, Mr. Chairman, in the near future would also include looking in the way of private-public partnership agreement, so we don't perpetually sit in earnest expectation that government will come to our aid. Mr. Chairman, we will take advantage of his proposal as the days go by. It's one of the things we are considering.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Chair Bafo. I'll take Chair Bafo and take two more, then wrap up.
Chairman, thank you very much. Chairman, I want to know whether our auditors are tax compliant, whether you comply with the tax laws, especially IRS Act 2000, IRS 2000 Act 592.
Mr. Chairman, yes, we are conversant with it.
You are compliant. No,
Yeah,
you
we
are
are
compliant.
compliant.
You are compliant.
We are compliant.
Then how come the auditor stumbled upon the fact that you've not been paying your withholding tax? One, they complained bitterly about your inability to turn over to the revenue agencies withholding tax you have deducted from suppliers who you contracted. And secondly, some really refused to withhold.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the question. It's true. And Mr. Chairman, at times in repairing accounts, there are a few slips here and there, and I believe this was one of the slips. And I must say that when the auditors drew our attention to it, we quickly went and paid. I think the response that we gave to the August House, we attached a copy of the receipt of the payment that we made in 2005. In fact, the account was audited in 20. No, the account was for 2012, but it was audited in 2012, around December. So when our attention was drawn, we arranged and went and paid. Thank you, Honor.
Mr. Accountant, for how long will be with this respected institution of ours?
Mr. Chairman, in a few months, I'll be 30 years there. But in 2012, I wasn't in charge of the accounts. I was in a different section. I took over in 2014. That was the time the 2012 account was being prepared. Thank you.
Who are your primary customers?
Parliament House. We have Ghana Post. We have Ghana Water.
Do they, it's okay, do they buy on credit? Do they buy and come and pay later?
They always buy on credit. Even as we are speaking now, Parliament is owing it.
No, I'm saying this, listen, I'm saying this because I'm just, please.
Order.
We need to know this because I'm looking at the trend, the current assets of the company, and it includes huge amounts of receivables, which suggests that you are selling on credit, and it keeps growing. Now, to the extent that their current assets almost equates their assets, fixed assets, non-current assets as well. So my worry is that you have a lot of work to do as operational manager, the director of operations, and the financial director. Because if you are challenged operational, you make losses year on year by, and then you sell on credit, and you don't have strategy to quicken your receivables and delay your payables, then this problem of inability of the company to pay your workers will stay for long. So you must come out with just as we are thinking about PPA arrangement and all other things that you need to do to capitalize and to bring a life to the operations. You must do well as far as your cash management is concerned, so that you are able to, as much as possible, sell to people on cash basis, and if you have to sell on credit, come out with appropriate strategy so that you can quicken your cash receipts from your debtors. So how much does Parliament owe you? Oh, we need to know. How much do we owe them?
I see.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, we can't say it often.
Honorable member, it's not a bad thing to owe. No, I'm serious. If Parliament has been your client over these years and you have not stopped selling to Parliament, it means that we are good debtor. We'll be fulfilling our obligations as and when they fall due. So it's not a bad thing to owe. That is true. You should know it. If you are a businessman, you don't want to sell on credit, you always want to credit on cash, then your business will not even flourish. You have to assess that customer to know whether he has the capacity to pay if I give it to him on credit. And that is what Parliament is. So nobody should assume that Parliament owes Ghana Publishing. we owe because we will continue to owe. I will continue to pay our debt. Don't you agree with me? So what about the amount is irrelevant here. Thank you. Thank you. I won't allow any question again.
That's okay.
I won't allow any question again. Nobody will ask any question again. Okay, go ahead.
MD, you are welcome. When the executive director gave us a summary, but what came to mind is that, do you have any reason for which you were not given some of those important printing business? Were there any reasons, or you felt that this would have caused me that I was out of that business? You talk about the printing of the ballot papers and other sensitive things of the state. You would have known by now what was the reason for which you were not given those contracts, and what are you doing so that you win the heart of those institutions so they can get back those contracts? That would also boost up your business.
I think our biggest challenge as it stands now has to do with equipment. We have the personnel, we have a competent management team, but we lack proper equipment to execute some of these sophisticated modern printing contracts. So what happens is that I've had several discussions with the operation members and then the chief accountant. When there are adverts in the papers, sometimes as a new MD, I ask myself, why don't we tender in and express interest to win those contracts? Then my attention is drawn to the fact that even if we win, we do not have the requisite equipment and machines to do these modern printing works. That is a big limitation. Quite apart from that, the classical example is the recent elections of 2016. We were given one region to print. The one region we were given to print happens to be one of the smallest regions. Even that, most private companies finished theirs ahead of schedule, and we were still struggling to complete the works, even though we finally produced quality works. So the point here is we need proper retooling and overall recapitalization.